welcome to our pedal to the metal. Q2 is the time to go. It is go time. Thank you all, like I said, for hanging in there, hanging with us. I will get this right. I promise you all, I will get this right. I am Heather Harro, CRO of DiversifyRx, and my guest, who I'm not going to butcher her name, and I have been practicing for 2 days now, is Blair Thielemier.
Thielemier. Close enough.
The ire.
I just go by Dr. Blair. And
I
then,
love that.
it's like Beyonce. I'll just go by my first name.
I love it. I love it. Which is honestly in pharmacy, if anybody says Blair, you very much are Beyonce or Madonna in that frame.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Everybody knows who Blair is. So Miss Blair is here, and she has, I'm not sure how long you've been in this role, but she's been in this role with EQUIPP for a little bit. So thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah.
Now, before we get in, I just want to let everybody know, scan the QR code to become a member. We'd love for you to become a member. We have a 4-step process to help you increase in the first 12 months, you're going to see profit increase. And honestly, between you and I, between us girls, it's much quicker than that. But Miss Lisa is always an under promiser, over deliver kind of lady. And she never lets me say that it's faster than that. It's faster than that, friends. So today, what Blair is going to be talking about is clinical services. And we know that Blair is honestly a clinical services guru. She is the genius. So where Blair fits into our 4-step process is the diversification process. She's in step 4. Now, she's in step 4 under clinical services, and there's lots that go under clinical services. So there's lots of areas that we could click here that she checks the boxes on. So we love that. Blair, did you have slides or anything that I need to let you share the screen? Or well, first of all, before I get started, welcome to my craziness.
Thank you for having me.
So in our webinars, these particular webinars, we have a few rules, which is we really don't have rules.
Yeah. Okay.
If the pharmacists pop in with a question, I will just relay it to you, and we can hopefully answer their questions live. The purpose of this is to understand who you are, what our next steps are, and really how to onboard, how we are going to get on here and start creating profit quickly. So if they have some questions, I am trying my dangest to figure out how to get the questions out of Facebook. If not, maybe you and I can pop in once I get this figured out, do a live, and we can redo those. But I do let the pharmacists ask any questions, because I'm truly trying to be their mouthpiece in asking questions. I think it saves a discovery call, quite honestly, is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so Blair, for those of you that may not know who you are, give us a little bit about you and EQUIPP.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't necessarily have slides to share, but I do have kind of a demo site just to let people walk through. So that we can save till the end, because I think that kind of gets into the weeds. So high level, my name is Blair Thielemier. I have been a clinical pharmacist for the past 15 years, really specializing mostly in MTM type services that you can do quickly, easily, effectively within the independent community pharmacy setting, or within the community pharmacy setting, really. So EQUIPP, we work with pharmacies all across the United States. We contract with payers to deliver opportunities to the pharmacy at the NPI level. So this is a little bit different, right? Because in the past, you've had to, even with provider status. So I'm credentialed as a provider in the state of Arkansas, where I'm licensed as a pharmacist. That process to go through and get credentialed as a provider was something that you mentioned step 4 in the diversification process. It was also a very steep learning curve. And so when I was really trying to understand and build education around pharmacist-led clinical services for students and for pharmacists that they'd never done clinical services before, it was really important for me to take a step back and say, what is the low-hanging fruit for pharmacists? What are these opportunities starting in Q2 that you could take advantage of that turns, really, I say every pharmacist is a clinical pharmacist. And it doesn't matter what setting you're working within, you do have the ability to look and see if a patient is due for a refill. You have the
Right.
ability to impact adherence. You have the ability to take a blood pressure. I saw point of care testing,
Yes.
on that framework. And
Yeah.
so here in the state of Arkansas, pharmacists can do test and treat. So, I know, Heather and Lisa have put together so many resources for you guys, for the audience watching, to help understand how to implement these types of services within the community pharmacy. And I would say that there are different levels of difficulty, and it varies state to
Yes.
state as well, which creates even more nuance and more complexity when it comes to billing for a pharmacist's cognitive services.
Right.
But what I love about EQUIPP, and I'd been using the EQUIPP dashboard as a clinical pharmacist. So, as an MTM consultant, I would work with a lot of pharmacies here in Northeast Arkansas and Southeast Missouri to help them implement their vaccination programs or get them set up for test and treat or, medical billing, whatever that looked like, whatever their needs were. So I'd been using the Equip dashboard, and, you know, 8 years ago, you were on there, really, you were just looking at your star ratings. And so I remember logging into the dashboard, working with some of these pharmacies, and I would identify, okay, these are the patients that qualify for the cholesterol measure that they're looking at. So who are those outliers that are falling behind, on their refills? Who are the patients that, may need additional support? Maybe it's a delivery service or a packaging service that we could identify these patients who are at high risk of becoming non-adherent and have a proactive approach to just give them that extra assistance. So that
Sure.
was really, my career leading up to joining Equip and the team there was really a wide range of implementing these clinical services as a consultant pharmacist,
Sure.
mostly in the community pharmacy setting.
Right. Well, and you have such a unique experience. So now you're with this company, but you are truly using your worldly experience, your pharmacist experience to plug in where the company may not have had, where they may not have known that that was a specific pain or something that could help. You sent me over some bullet points, and one thing that
Mhm.
really grabbed me, that I think a lot of our members really can grasp onto is your dashboard bridges the gap between the insight and action. So the insight is great. The data nerds of the
Right.
world appreciate that. But sometimes where we find, myself included, is putting those steps together to take the next logical prioritized step to
Yes.
get you to where you want to go.
Yeah, we all have a limited amount of time and energy. And, especially the pharmacy owner that wears many hats, right? So, I 8 years ago when I was utilizing Equip, there weren't necessarily dollar values associated with these interventions, right? There
Right.
was, like you said, there was a lot of data, a lot of insight, but it wasn't clearly connected to revenue.
Right.
And I would say over the past probably 3 years, that's the biggest change that I've seen within the EQUIPP dashboard. If you haven't logged into the EQUIPP dashboard recently, it is, I'm going to share it here
Yeah.
in just a little bit and walk you guys through what it looks like today. But what's really exciting is we've added more fee for service type opportunities. So whenever you think of Equip, there's kind of two buckets
Okay.
of opportunities. One is within the My Programs. That's the traditional star ratings quality improvement programs where you're looking at the percentages of proportion of days covered for patients. Those are population health level reporting. So you're looking at the patient, once they're attributed to your pharmacy, they're yours for the year.
Okay.
And so, really understanding the difference between those, what we call my programs, those value-based care populations versus the enhanced service opportunities. The enhanced service opportunities are more like fee for service opportunities when you think of reimbursement. So it's much easier for pharmacists to understand. I'm going to take a blood pressure, I'm going to be reimbursed this amount.
Mhm.
Or I'm going to call a patient and have an adherence conversation about their cholesterol refills or lack thereof.
Right. Right. Right.
Or, a missing statin in
Yes.
diabetes is one of our measures that we look at. So it makes it very clear for the pharmacist as the end user what that opportunity is, what the dollar value tied to it is going to be, and then they can prioritize which opportunities to act on first.
That's incredible. That takes the guessing work out of it. It also um, doesn't fall solely on the pharmacist anymore. You can have a champion for this that can
100%.
really help you with this. So you're adding a fantastic program without adding another hat to your little scalp. To your
Exactly.
stack of hats. You know, when I think of pharmacists, I always think of this silly, like big hat that has turned almost sideways, and there's things hanging off of it that they've always wanted to do. But
Yes,
kinds of fantastic programs that are out there really take some of those hats off and spreads it to your very capable team members.
exactly. Exactly. And I'll also give a brief demo of our new Copilot product, which I think takes it one step further from the dashboard
Sure.
by bringing those opportunities directly to the pharmacy management system. So it
Yes.
doesn't matter which pharmacy management system you're working from, doesn't matter whether you're would even consider yourself a clinical pharmacist. You're a pharmacist that's dispensing, you're a pharmacist that's working in your daily workflow, and you're still going to be delivered these opportunities. So many of our pharmacies using Copilot are actually offering most of their clinical services and documenting those clinical services that they're offering while the patient is there face to face.
Oh, that's fantastic. That was actually our
Yeah.
first question. Does this integrate with common PMS systems?
Absolutely. All the major ones. So there are a few that depending on what they're built on. I'm
Sure.
learning a lot about coding. Um, But all of the major ones, yes. So you're configured, there's no API integration. It is a very quick 2-minute download. It's a
Oh,
very
wow.
small application, but it's very powerful in that it knows exactly where to look
That's
to
incredible.
identify, yeah, these patient name and date of birth. And when there's a match within the Equip dashboard, it's giving you that opportunity, and then you can document it right there. So, Mrs. Smith comes in for her antibiotics and I'm filling, whether it's in the initial processing screen or
Sure.
the pharmacist verification screen, the co-pilot's going to recognize that this patient has an equip opportunity in the dashboard.
Very
So
good.
then I'm gonna know, oh, Miss Smith, if we go out and do a blood pressure reading, we can get paid $35 for putting that blood pressure reading on file for her. So I can then, while she's waiting, if I have a certified technician on my team, they can go out, get a digital reading. I can have that conversation, document it right there, all while the other medication is being filled and processed. Patients love it. You
Uh-huh.
know, we're able to generate extra revenue. And then,
Right.
also from the payer side, they can begin to see with documentation that pharmacists have an impact on outcomes. And that is really my why because I've always believed that pharmacists are underutilized and can have a bigger impact on patient outcomes. And now it's like the Equip Copilot putting that right there in their hands to be able to capture that documentation and value.
That's incredible. That takes the guesswork out of it.
It
And
does.
that level of it really turns your pharmacy into just an extra level of care.
Hmm.
Miss Smith is going to absolutely love seeing Heather come out and check, talk to her because of course you're going to do your customer service. So you're just going to elevate yourself
Yes.
even more, but while getting paid.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the main thing that whenever I was helping pharmacies to understand MTM opportunities or point of care testing opportunities is they would say, I don't have time to do that. I don't
Yeah.
have time to log into an extra portal to run a report, to proactively identify these people and begin reaching out. That's
Right.
why I think having something like the Copilot to passively,
Yes.
tap you on the shoulder, it's like having a clinical pharmacist stand
Yes.
behind you while you're filling and say, "Oh, hey, did you know that patient has an equip opportunity that you could act on?"
Right.
So yeah, I will, if you want to allow me to share, I will
Yes,
bring
ma'am. You
up.
have you have control. And I love
Ooh,
this
I
idea.
love
Well,
control.
number one, I know that pharmacists are sick to death of dashboards and
Yes.
logging out and logging in and remembering passwords and having Joanne remember this password and Blair remember this password. Having it all in your PMS just seems like a dream.
It really
Like
does.
a dream companion for you to be able to really go after those clinical opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll show you. This is just a demo of just the controlling blood pressure opportunities because, like I said, I want to keep it really, really simple.
Yes.
So imagine you're logging in to your Equip dashboard. So first question, how do I log in? Through your
Yes.
PSAO, most likely. So
Okay.
everyone that is has access to Equip likely has that through their PSAO. So first step, log in. Second step, you're going to go, this all patients view is going to show you all of the opportunities you're going to have within the Equip dashboard. Now, right now, it's only showing controlling blood pressure because I've got the demo for that up. But this is going to show your enhanced service opportunities. Remember those two buckets, the My Programs, where you're looking more at an annual PDC percentage
Right.
versus the enhanced services. Those are more like your Q2 check-ins or your on-time fills. So we're
Right.
doing on-time fill bonuses this year that you can actually qualify by doing a Q2 check-in. You
Oh,
can qualify for these on-time fill bonuses, and those are available once a month.
yay. Yes.
Right, right. So it definitely adds up.
Sure.
for pharmacies that are willing to make the most of these time sensitive. I mean, they are
Right.
time sensitive because they're looking at is this patient filling within a certain amount of time?
Right.
uh,
Right.
certain refills, med sync during the month. So when you're looking at LAMP opportunities, those are our longitudinal adherence opportunities. Those may be check-ins on refills on a quarterly basis, where the on-time fills may be monthly. The controlling blood pressure opportunities, they are annual. So what I would recommend is if you're on this page in EQUIPP, you're logged in, you're ready to go. It should show your NPI and MCPDP up here in the right-hand corner. And then you navigate down to this little bullseye. This is going to show you your enhanced service opportunities. And this is going to be very clear how many patient opportunities are available, how many have been completed thus far, if there's any expiring, and how you would need to go in to document that. So
Wow.
you can click in and you can see more details about all these fake patients. And you
Sure.
can, you can click in and begin, okay, we talked to this patient, sent a blood pressure reading, got it back. Yes, we were able to measure it and the results were reviewed. Checking here on these interventions, today's date, enter, quickly whatever readings you got, how
Sure.
it was done, digital wrist, any further, and then sign and save it.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. That's
That's incredible.
that is all you would need to do in order to
Okay.
claim this $40.
Okay.
So really quite simple in terms of, how to document. There's very much standard documentation templates that's provided. So any questions about that?
Um, none so far.
Okay.
Um, Friends, if I'm not looking in the right place, I will come back if I've missed a question, but I don't see any more this far.
Okay. All right, then we will move on. So I mentioned here the Copilot. So I want to have a chance to show you what that product really looks like within your normal dispensing workflow. So again, so imagine we were on the equip screen here. You say, okay, I want to try it out. There's a 30-day free trial. Blair said I should try it. You're going to click in this top, the Get Equip Copilot.
Okay.
When you do that, it says download Copilot. You can click it. It will begin to download to your system.
Oh,
Again,
wow.
that doesn't really take any, you can see it's almost halfway downloaded by now already. So
Right.
it doesn't really take any additional IT infrastructure or APIs built out. It's really built to lay right on top of your pharmacy management system. So when you
That's
get,
incredible.
yes, because when
That,
you get it downloaded, you literally just go in and log in again, and then you're ready to go. Let me see. I'll put you on the Copilot screen. You're looking at something more like this. And if you can't see the Copilot on this screen, it is this very small orange crown over
oh,
here on the right-hand sidebar.
very
So
cool.
that's what you just downloaded. And
Right.
so, I mentioned the patient comes in with her amoxicillin script. You're filling just as you normally would in the cadence of your normal workflow. And Copilot is going to be looking at, this patient's name and date of birth and saying, okay, there's an opportunity here. Let me tell you There's $30 in enhanced blood pressure readings here. There's a Q2 check-in for lisinopril, and there's also an on-time fill bonus for lisinopril, as well
Wow.
as an hemoglobin A1C testing. So this
Wow.
patient has a lot of opportunities.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
So what is really neat, I showed you what the controlling blood pressure documentation looked like in the dashboard.
Right.
What it's going to look like in the Copilot is going to be exactly the same. So the documentation is just as easy here. You know, yes, we did all the things. It's all click boxes, very simple to enter. There's no free text that's required. You show who you documented it, enter your name. Well, I guess I lied. There is free text that's required. Your name.
For sure.
Um, just your name and your designation, and then checking the box and saving it.
Wow.
And then when you're done, you literally just close that out. Uh, well, you go back here. It's not going to let me because it wants me to document. But if you're done with that, you close the Copilot, it goes back to that little bitty
Yeah,
icon here on the side, and you go on with the rest of your day.
that's incredible. Now, are payments sent out monthly or is it by each service? Is it dependent upon service when payout comes?
It is dependent on service because remember, those My Programs are annual contracts,
Sure. Yep.
whereas the enhanced services, those are quarterly.
Wow.
So it really depends. Most of your payouts are going to be coming once a year, generally
Okay.
this time of year.
Okay.
So we just finished kind of all of the invoicing and things for 2025.
Okay.
So if you have any questions about payouts or if you'd like a report, an understanding of, why you missed out on opportunities or what kind of payouts you should even be expecting,
Oh,
to
sure.
have, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help generate those reports and connect you in with the right person at EQUIPP to get your questions answered.
That's incredible. And Blair's Calendly link will be
Mhm.
in the show notes, and we'll post them up and all of that. And she's fantastic to talk to about just life. I mean, don't waste her time, of course, but Blair is someone that you should be talking to about these opportunities. And it seems like I know I say this a lot because I get very excited about the opportunities that I bring on here, but this one truly seems like a no-brainer. Like it
Mhm.
seems like you can't lose. There's not a big hiccup stage. There's not a big learning curve. This is truly a plug and play opportunity that you can really rally your team to get behind. I
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm excited for our members, our Facebook group members, our people to really reach out to you and get started. Now, is there a fee for to become an EQUIPP member?
Yes, yes. So most of the EQUIPP access for 95% of the pharmacies within the United States is done through the PSAO. So
Okay,
again, if you're not sure whether or not you have EQUIPP access, your first step is going to be reaching out to your PSAO.
okay,
You can also feel free to email us, support@pharmacyquality.com. We can look up based on your NPI whether or not you currently have access and what that access is. So
sure.
if you've, recently purchased a store or sold a store or any of that, feel free to reach out and we can kind of help point you in the right direction
I
for
love that.
what that
Okay,
looks like to get access. So your membership to EQUIPP is paid through the PSAO. The Copilot product, because that is a new technology, that's our new software that we are just rolling out. I mean, just going to market with it pretty much within the past few months.
sure.
There is a charge associated with that in
Okay,
order to give everyone the opportunity to test it out. we offer a 30-day free trial. And
Oh,
that
okay.
free trial is truly free. You don't have to enter your credit card information or anything like that. So I recommend everybody go to our website, pharmacyquality.com, or get it off your EQUIPP homepage and download it and test it out after the 30-day free trial. So looking at kind of what your average earnings were for 2025 through EQUIPP, deciding whether the ROI is there for you is something that I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone who's interested in
Okay.
really understanding, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? So within the Copilot, there's two options. One would be our monthly plan, and that's no annual contract required, and our annual plan. So the annual plan is $1,200 for the year,
Okay.
1188 for the year, about 1,200.
Okay.
Whereas the monthly plan, it runs 119
Okay.
per month. So really affordable for those smaller pharmacies that may not have a ton of EHS opportunities, as well as being able to look more long term at what are the My Programs dollars that were available in 2025, and how can we capture more of those value-based care contract dollars. So if that's a question that people have, feel free to reach out to me. We can run a report for you based on your 2025 numbers and have a conversation whether or not the ROI is there. But either
I love
way, we love it when people engage with EQUIPP, and we're there to help pharmacies make money, have a bigger impact on patients, and practice at the highest level. So that's really what I'm
that.
all about.
Well, and honestly, there's absolutely nothing better in the world than to be able to hand somebody your data and they read it for you and tell you yes or no. There's
Yeah.
there's really not, especially for someone who's not a big data nerd like myself. Lisa enjoys it to the T. She is a
Yeah.
big data nerd. But for somebody who even just loves their data and doesn't know what to do with it, that's the best way to start is hey Blair, help
Yeah, absolutely.
help me figure
Absolutely.
out if this is good or not. Well, this is so fantastic. So I would say like your very least step is one, reach out to your PSAO. You may already have this available to you. And number two, do that consultation with Blair. Reach out to her. I mean, she's offering 30 minutes of her invaluable brain space. Use it, use it, use it, use it. She's very gracious to offer that to us. So take advantage, give her your data, and she'll make you a clinical star like herself.
That's right. That's right. Like I say, I think any pharmacist can be a clinical pharmacist. I
I love
truly
that.
believe that.
I love that. Well, we got off to a pretty rocky start, but we finished solid, Blair.
That's right. We finished strong.
That's right. All right, friends. Thank you so much for hopping on. If you've stuck around this long, God bless you. And I hope that you have a fantastic coffee or soda or whatever you like to drink today. It just hits the best and is the best. I will be back in 2 weeks with another company, another opportunity to let you ask the questions and see if it's right for you. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.